Trinidad and Tobago pathologist to offer fourth opinion on Adriana Young's death. Newsroom Guyana reports. A fourth post-mortem opinion in the case of 11-year-old Adriana Young is reportedly being sought, despite 3 internationally recognized forensic pathologists concluding that she died by drowning. Controversy surrounding Dr. Hubert Daisley. Dr. Hubert Daisley, a Trinidad and Tobago-based pathologist, has emerged as a controversial figure in this case. His potential involvement has raised concerns, particularly because he has faced criticism in the past for inaccurately determining the cause of death in a high-profile case. In 2013, Dr. Daisley publicly apologized after misclassifying a death as murder when it was actually due to asthma complications. Additionally, Trinidad's health minister, Dr. Fuad Khan, stated that Daisley was not recognized as a qualified forensic pathologist by the medical board. Background of Adriana's death. Adriana Young was found dead in a hotel swimming pool on April 24, shortly after a family outing. Her body was released for burial on the following Monday after examinations by 3 forensic experts: Dr. Glenn A. Rudner from Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, Dr. Shubhaker Kara Paul from Barbados, and Dr. Gary L. Collins, Chief Medical Examiner of Delaware. All 3 pathologists concluded that Adriana's death was due to drowning, with no signs of forced submersion. Dr. Collins was specifically nominated by Adriana's family, with full government support, to participate in the autopsy. Speculation and political implications. The emergence of Dr. Daisley has sparked speculation that political actors may be attempting to politicize the child's death, rather than this initiative stemming directly from the grieving family. Notably, Dr. Daisley was previously appointed by opposition leaders in 2012 for autopsies related to a politically sensitive incident involving the deaths of 3 men during public unrest in Linden, Guyana. It remains unclear whether the request for another opinion reflects new concerns from Adriana's family or if it is an effort by political figures to undermine the initial findings for their own agendas. The call for a fourth opinion raises questions about how many assessments are necessary before the truth is accepted and highlights the complexities surrounding this tragic case. 2 security guards remanded on murder charge. Guyana Times reports. 2 security officers were remanded to prison on Friday in connection with the murder of Leon Alexander Bartram, who died days after sustaining injuries in a late-night altercation at the intersection of Crowell and Longden Streets, Georgetown. Kennard Persaud, also known as Troy and Rady, a 36-year-old resident of the Water Street, Tiger Bay squatting area, and Ricky Andrews, 32, of Lot 152 Lane Avenue, West Front Road, Georgetown, appeared before Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The men were not required to plead to the indictable charge, which alleges that on Thursday, March 6, 2025, at Crowell and Longden Streets, they murdered Bartram. In court, Andrews appeared in person, while Persaud joined virtually. Neither was represented by an attorney. According to the prosecution, the matter initially began as an attempted murder charge. However, following Bartram's death on April 25, the charge was withdrawn and substituted with murder. The post-mortem results are still outstanding, and the court is awaiting advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. The prosecution detailed that on the night in question, around 11 p.m., Persaud and Andrews, who were friends with Bartram, were standing at the corner of Crowell and Longden Streets when Bartram approached. An altercation ensued, during which Persaud allegedly drew a cutlass from his electric bike and struck Bartram several times in the head and body. Bartram, also armed with a cutlass, retaliated and wounded Persaud. Further, the prosecution stated that Andrews armed himself with a piece of wood and struck Bartram multiple times. Following the attack, Bartram managed to walk to the corner of Charlotte Street and Avenue of the Republic, where he collapsed. He was subsequently picked up by an ambulance and taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation (GPHC), where he was admitted in serious condition. Persaud was later contacted by police, informed of the allegations, and taken into custody. Initially charged with attempted murder, the investigation escalated following Bartram's death, leading to Andrews' arrest. The prosecution noted that both men admitted to their actions during video and audio interviews. In court, however, both men pleaded their innocence. Andrews, appearing emotional, broke down in tears during the proceedings. "I didn't lash anybody, I swear. I tried to stop it and ended up in this situation. I was there and can talk about what happened from start to end," he told the court, pleading for mercy. Persaud took full responsibility for the attack, insisting that Andrews had nothing to do with it. "He didn't lash anybody. He didn't do anything," he stated, turning to the magistrate and declaring, "Andrews is innocent. I was the one who did everything." Despite their statements, Magistrate Azor remanded both men to prison. As the matter concluded, Andrews again tried to explain his version of events, reiterating that he had only tried to intervene and did not intend to hurt anyone. The men have been remanded until June 13, 2025. Minor granted bail on assault charge. Guyana Times report. Romuald Sam, a 42-year-old gold miner from Awerwano village in deep South Rupununi, was arrested on Wednesday, April 30th, at Marudi Bakdam. He has been charged with assault causing actual bodily harm. Sam appeared before Magistrate Omidat Chandan at the Lethem Magistrates Court on Friday, May 2nd. As the charge is indictable, he was not required to enter a plea when it was first read to him. However, under the Administration of Justice Act, AJA, the magistrate took his plea, allowing the matter to be heard in the magistrate's court for trial rather than a preliminary inquiry. The charge was reread to Sam, who subsequently entered a plea of not guilty. Bail was granted in the sum of $50,000 with the following conditions. He must report to the Aishelton police station every Friday at 10 a.m. until the matter is concluded, maintain the peace, and refrain from contacting any witnesses involved in the case. The trial is scheduled to commence on May 14, 2025. The victim was present in court during the proceedings. Sam had reportedly fled to Marudi Bakdam, where he was later arrested. Man shot in eye by police faces possible blindness. Source: Kaider News. A family in Linden is pleading for urgent financial assistance to help 38-year-old Sherlyn Hollingsworth fly overseas for emergency eye surgery after he was allegedly shot in the face with a rubber bullet by a member of the Guyana police force during a police operation on Tuesday evening. Incident details. The incident occurred between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. at 1 Mile, Vismar, Region 10. According to Assistant Commissioner and Region 10 Commander Curly Simon, officers were dispatched to disperse protesters blocking roads, burning debris, and throwing missiles at law enforcement. Simon stated that rubber pellets were used to disperse them. However, Hollingsworth's wife, Nikisha Hollingsworth, claims her husband was not part of the protest. She explained that he had stepped outside to secure their shop and check on their vehicle. Hollingsworth recounted, "As I turned to push in the door, the police officer aimed straight at me and shot." He alleged that the officer fired 5 more shots before leaving the scene. Medical condition. Hollingsworth was initially taken to Mackenzie Hospital and later transferred to Georgetown Public Hospital. Medical officials confirmed that a foreign object larger than a standard rubber pellet is lodged deep within his right eye. Surgery could not be performed due to the object's size and depth. Doctors have placed him on antibiotic treatment and advised a 2-week observation period. However, the family cannot afford to wait. Nikki Shah stated, "I am seeking financial help to get him out of the country as soon as tomorrow for the surgery." She emphasized that her husband has completely lost vision in the injured eye and fears that any delay could lead to permanent blindness. Community response. During a joint news conference by opposition political parties, social activist Nigel London raised concerns about the police's enforcement methods. He remarked, "It seems like members of the Guyana police force are given an order to shoot in the eye," referencing another incident where a Lindoner was shot while seeking refuge from police gunfire. London called for justice and demanded the identity of the officer involved to be revealed. As the family anxiously seeks financial support, time is running out to preserve Hollingsworth's vision. Those willing to assist can contact Mrs. Hollingsworth at 687-2181. Health Minister questions motives behind call for second autopsy for Adriana Young. Newsroom Guyana reports. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has raised serious concerns over calls for a second autopsy in the death of 11-year-old Adriana Young, despite a unanimous conclusion from 3 internationally acclaimed forensic pathologists that the child died by drowning. Speaking on Friday, Dr. Anthony questioned the rationale behind seeking another postmortem when the initial examination was thorough, witnessed by family representatives, and deemed satisfactory by all parties involved, including the family's own expert, American pathologist Dr. Gary Collins. If everyone was satisfied with the initial autopsy, why is there now a request for another pathologist? Dr. Anthony asked. The body was handed over to the family on Monday and is no longer under police protection. If another autopsy is done, we don't know what may have happened to the body in that time. The minister warned that the integrity and legal validity of a second autopsy could be questionable, particularly since the body has not remained in official custody since the original procedure. Dr. Anthony explained that the initial autopsy was performed by a team that included Dr. Collins, Chief Medical Examiner for the state of Delaware, nominated by the family, along with Dr. Shubhaker Karapal, a UK-trained forensic pathologist in Barbados, and Dr. Glenn A. Rudner of Mount Sinai Hospital, USA. All 3 independently concluded that Adriana died from drowning, with no signs of forced submersion or trauma. This was a transparent, meticulously documented process, Dr. Anthony stated. The entire procedure was recorded on video, and the findings were shared with the family, who expressed satisfaction at every stage. The autopsy included full body scans and internal examinations, with samples sent for advanced analysis to Mount Sinai and the National Medical Services Laboratory in the United States. Now, a 4th opinion is reportedly being sought from Trinidad and Tobago's Dr. Hubert Daisley, a controversial figure previously criticized for an incorrect cause of death determination in a 2013 case, where he mistakenly attributed a death to strangulation/murder rather than an asthma complication. At that time, Trinidad's then health minister stated that Dr. Daisley was not qualified as a forensic pathologist under their medical board. Dr. Anthony stressed that Dr. Daisley would first need accreditation from Guyana's Medical Council before being allowed to practice locally, an independent body that must assess his qualifications and determine his fitness for such work. It seems like there are elements trying to delay this process and create controversy, Dr. Anthony added. We have scientific evidence, credible experts, and transparency. The question is, what is the real motivation here? Adriana Young was discovered dead in a swimming pool at a local hotel on April 24 during a family outing. Her body was examined on April 29 and subsequently released to her family for burial. The government has reiterated its confidence in the findings of the original postmortem and cautioned against undermining public trust in the process without credible reason. Fisherman still missing 3 weeks after disappearing at sea. Source: Qatar News. 3 weeks after 32-year-old Daniel Inshanali went missing at sea, his body has yet to be recovered, leaving family members despondent. Inshanali and 17-year-old Vishal Parmanand disappeared on April 8 after their boat was found drifting off the coast near Tain Beach, Corentyne. Vishal's father, Mohindranath Parmanand, had purchased a new boat from Crabwood Creek, and both young men set out for Rosignol, West Coast Berbice. Incident details. Vishal's decomposed body was recovered about 10 days after the incident on the foreshore of Kendall's village, Corentyne, Berbice, by another fisherman. This fisherman alerted the relatives and police immediately. Police reported that officers, accompanied by Vishal's father, Mohit Parmanand, and brother, Rohan Parmanand, found the body dressed in multicolored shorts and a pink t-shirt, clothing matching what Vishal was last seen wearing. While no visible marks of violence were observed, police noted that this could be attributed to the body's advanced state of decomposition. Family's plea. Inshanali's wife, Rebecca, expressed deep sorrow and fear that her husband may have met a similar fate. "I think the same thing that happened to the boy also happened to Daniel," she said. "He wouldn't leave the children like that. He always called to check on them. We miss him. I just want his body to be found, even if he is found dead," she added, holding back tears. Ongoing search efforts. Regional Commander of Region 6, Senior Superintendent Shivprasad Bacchus, confirmed that there are currently no updates on Daniel's whereabouts. He could not confirm whether the police are still actively searching for him. According to Mohindranath, the boat was filled with fuel before they departed from Crabwood Creek for Rosignol. When the boat failed to arrive by 5 p.m. that day, he tried to contact his son but received no response. The following morning, around 10 a.m., he was informed that the vessel had been spotted drifting near Tain Coker, Quarantine, with the engine still attached, yet both men were missing. 6 remanded for terrorism. Source: Kaider News. 6 men were brought before Senior Magistrate Fabio Azor at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday for various crimes committed during Monday night's unrest. The accused are Marvin Sears, 18, of Lot 1 Smythe and Durban Streets, Georgetown. Jamal Cornett, 23, of Lot 77 Farm Housing Scheme, East Bank Demerara, EBD. Kevin Thomas, 25, of Lot 63 4th Street, Albertown, Georgetown. Dion Norville, 38, of Sussex Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. Shamar Ross, 21, of Lot 1667 Westminster Street, West Bank Demerara, WBD. Shane Burnett, 21, of Lot 1791 Parfait Harmony, EBD. The men were not required to plead to the offense. Allegations. It is alleged that on April 28, 2025, in Georgetown, they committed a terrorist act by riding their motorcycles at high speeds, weaving in and out of traffic in a dangerous manner, and occupying both driving lanes in large groups on the roadways. The prosecution objected to bail due to the seriousness of the offense, stating that the defendants' actions caused widespread disruption, leading to canceled flights and the closure of schools and businesses due to public fear. They also noted that the defendants used their motorcycles to block both roadways. Legal representation. Sears was represented by attorney-at-law Dominic Bess, while Cornett, Thomas, Norville, Ross, and Burnett were represented by attorney Darren Wade. Bess informed the court that his client was arrested on Smythe Street and was not with his co-defendants at the time. He asserted that Sears was not part of any group and had borrowed a motorcycle from a police officer after his own vehicle ran out of gas. Bess argued that there were no eyewitnesses or video footage linking Sears to the alleged acts. Wade, representing the other defendants, argued that they are innocent and questioned the appropriateness of terrorism charges for their actions on the night in question. He indicated that if he were stopped by police, he might also face similar charges, suggesting that such behavior should be addressed as traffic violations rather than terrorism. Court decision. After considering the representations made by the attorneys, Magistrate Azor remanded all 6 men until May 21, 2025. Government must prioritize people and corruption. Dr. Terence Campbell. Source: Kaider News. Local businessman Dr. Terence Campbell has urged the government of Guyana to combat corruption, distribute the country's wealth equitably, and prioritize the needs of the people. Speaking to public sector workers during the Labor Day rally and march on Thursday, Campbell, a member of the Natural Resource Fund (NRF) Investment Committee, expressed his concerns about the mismanagement of the Guyana Police Force (GPF) and the handling of the nation's oil wealth. "We have a lot of corruption and mismanagement in the country," Campbell told Kaider News at the event. "This has made life increasingly difficult for the poor and the working class. Today, I stand in support of the working class. Call for change." Dr. Campbell emphasized that ongoing mismanagement is negatively impacting the working class, a group he has long championed. He asserted that with Guyana's newfound oil wealth, no citizen should be suffering or striking for better wages. "I'm here in support of change," he stated. "We need change in government, transparency, accountability, and a reduction in production costs. This country is now oil-rich, and nobody should be poor or suffering. I protest against the dehumanization of our people. There is enough for everyone." Inequality in land distribution. Campbell also highlighted the government's unequal distribution of land, noting that large plots are awarded to government cronies while ordinary Guyanese struggle to secure housing. While people are trying to get a piece of land to build a house, hundreds of acres are being given to government insiders, he said. That's not right. This shows how we can help people with housing. Addressing corruption and policy reform. He stressed the need to address corruption and establish sound policies that promote long-term benefits rather than just immediate relief. The corruption we have needs to be tackled. It's not just about handing out money, we need to create opportunities for our people to improve their quality of life, Campbell explained. He criticized the government's reliance on short-term solutions like cash grants, arguing that such measures do not meet the long-term needs of citizens. They just want to give you a cash grant, he said. But that $100,000 given at Christmas and earlier this year is already gone. What people want is real change in their lives. We need policies that deliver that, starting from education to vocational training. The importance of wealth distribution. Campbell underscored the necessity of spreading the nation's wealth to ensure a decent standard of living for all Guyanese. We must spread the wealth in this country. If we do, everyone can enjoy a decent standard of living. But if we don't, we're sitting on a powder keg that could explode. People are frustrated and angry, and they will respond. The government should serve the people, spread the wealth, and end corruption, Campbell concluded. Dr. Campbell's remarks reflect the growing discontent among workers who feel that the country's wealth is not being shared equitably, and they call for systemic changes that benefit the working class.